industrial action commenced on the 13th of August and so far it's been very solid and we're very happy with the way that it's gone. We gave notice to the authority that we intended to escalate the action, which we did on the 31st of August, to include a ban on all participation in voluntary activities, and that's also been well adhered to by the membership, so we're pretty content with the way things are going. Members have been solid, the action has been resolute, and I think we've put management on the back foot. I think that's become clear.
To support the membership and thank them for the support they've given us. It's been astounding the way that the membership has stuck together, supported the industrial action fully. What it has meant is that even though we didn't expressly want to see appliances come off the run, it clearly has had that effect because they've removed that goodwill. The non-contractual overtime that we've asked people not to carry out are things like hanging on more than the 1 hour to keep pump ladders on the run, going out and doing any work on the juvenile fire setters or life projects that incurs in financial incentive. Any type of employment or work related issue above the roll map where they get a financial incentive should have been stopped on the 13th of August, and I'm pleased to say that from what we've seen that clearly is the case.
There's been no specific offers from the brigade. We have skirted around some of the issues in the talks that we've had, but from our point of view, nothing that they've suggested has come near to what we think would be a fair resolution to this dispute. What they need to do is to put something on the table that would constitute a fair settlement, a reasonable settlement, but we're not going to be bought off lightly. We recognise there's going to have to be a negotiated settlement. There is to end all disputes. But it has to be something that accords with our members' wishes, and so far the brigade has shown no intention of making any sort of offer that would do that. So it's an old employer's trick to try and drive a wedge between the membership and the union leadership. And we've seen letters from the Commissioner and comments from other people which basically say you should tell your union leadership that you're not prepared to take action and that they're being too militant and all this kind of thing. The reality is that, if anything, the members have been driving this dispute. It's a membership-led dispute, and I think that was evident in the fact that we got a 91% yes vote in the ballot. And we've done some research and we're yet to find a result in recent trade union history for a ballot for industrial action where there's been a greater yes vote. So I think that's evidence really that the members have been pushing for action over a lot of the stuff that's been going on, and they're leading the dispute and they're staying absolutely resolute, and we're very proud of the way that they've conducted the dispute so far. And every time we've called for an escalation in the action, they've been behind us 100%, and I've no doubt that they'll continue to be behind us if we call for escalations in the future, which is something we'll be reluctant to do. However, if it focuses the minds of brigade managers, then that's something that we're going to have to do.
Unfortunately not. We're still in the same situation with CPD. We've asked members to boycott it, to complete the national application form. Obviously we are concerned that most of our members are now being coerced and bullied by management and intimidated into completing the interim process. You know, we can't really blame some members that have completed that form, albeit quite reluctantly they've completed it to acknowledge that they get payment. We're here today on the 1st of September to try and reach a deal with management that concludes this dispute. How that's going to progress throughout this day, I don't know, but if it's anything like the previous couple of days, I would imagine we'll be long into the night trying to broker a deal whereby our own members will be able to have some indication of whether it's going to be the interim process or the national process that will be in London for future years. Just make it clear from the onset that as far as the union is concerned, for every in part of industrial action that we've put on, for any escalation that we've put on, we've maintained that we've got legal advice before applying that. Once the regional committee makes a decision on behalf of the membership to escalate industrial action, that decision is then put into the hands of the lawyers. As far as the lawyers are concerned, which in this case is Thompson's, there is clearly no contractual obligation for our members in regards to either the cycle project, juvenile fire setters, life project, or any other initiative whereby our members volunteered. That's quite different to what the brigade is claiming. The brigade is claiming there's a contractual obligation. Seems again very perverse for an employer to turn around and say there's a contractual obligation when the minute we say there's one, they totally disagree with us. So I think it's just a little bit of them playing our game sometimes. But as far as the membership is concerned, when it comes to the removal from a cycle project, the brigade are saying that there could be the possibility of a reduction in pay. Our lawyers have totally disputed that, and we would seek to take the authority to court if they was to try and put a stoppage of pay on our members. Clearly, they wouldn't be entitled to their £48 special additional responsibility allowance for the withdrawal for the month from August to September. But again, what I would say now is that don't forget that they will be coming back for volunteers next year. And if this is the type of contempt that our employers will hold our members in, saying that each time they volunteer for something it becomes a contractual issue, then I think that's going to suddenly focus people's minds on whether they actually want to volunteer in future without the union correctly negotiating the proper conditions of service for those voluntary activities.